Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight. I appreciate it so much that you guys are willing to hop on, and I know you didn't get a whole lot of notice, so thank you so much for getting, we lost someone. Who did we lose? Oh, we didn't lose anybody? Okay, sorry, I thought we lost someone. All right, so kind of how tonight's gonna go is I wanna talk about finding potentials. I know that can be kind of an area that some people struggle with, is like once you've kind of used up what we call our warm market, or those people that you know, you're really close to and you already have those relationships set up with, then it just kind of gets a little bit harder to reach out to some people and kind of get those conversations going without feeling really spammy and salesy about it. So I want to kind of talk about that, and then go over messaging, like some really good ways that you can kind of initiate messages and flow into some people that maybe you don't have the strongest relationship with, but that you can kind of start getting that conversation going about it works. And Sheila's going to help me with that, because she is like the queen of sending out messages. So you are, whether you like it or not, you are. And then the third thing is following up, like how often to follow up, how do we follow up, the importance of following up and all that stuff. And then finally, sealing the deal. So I'm going to also open up the chat over on the side. So if anyone has any questions while we're going along, feel free to post them in the chat and I will try to answer them as we go too. So, alrighty. So one of the first things I want to talk to you guys about is finding potentials. So to do this first part, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So give me just a quick second here. Okay, everybody can see that? Thumbs up if you can see that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is just in Facebook, and I can't see your faces, so if anybody needs anything right now, just unmute so I can hear you. One of the things that I really use a lot in Facebook is this search bar up at the top. And what I do with that is I search for not only people that I have mutual friends with, but also people that I have mutual interests with. So a big thing that I learned from John Eric, who used to be our social media person, is to first start out searching for people I may know. And that will pop up people that you have mutual friends with, but that you yourself are not friends with, okay? And a lot of these people are It Works people that I'm not friends with because their friends are maxed out, but I follow them. So you can see like it pops up some people, but that doesn't really help me as far as looking for potentials. So maybe I want to look for like people who live nearby me who I'm also not friends with. So all I'm going to do is add nearby to that, and that pops up, and I have to go to people. Okay, so I don't know why it's saying it doesn't know anybody, but anyway, so let's try this one. There we go. Okay, I was gonna say, I know there's people around me that I'm not friends with. So over here you can see all these filtered choices that you can get. So you can get people that live nearby me, and then you can add all kinds of other things to it. So for business purposes, what I kind of did when John Eric was talking about all this was I brainstormed a list of keywords that people might be talking about, or people might be searching for, or in groups for, that pertain to our business. So things like weight loss, skincare, essential oils, things like that, working out. So you can actually get up here and do like friends who like working out. And it will pop up for you people that you are already friends with that like working out, okay? So you can see people that really focus on being healthy, and those might be good people to target with like our ProFit or target with our ThermoFit as a pre-workout. You could also do people who like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, essential oils. So these are people that I'm friends with who like or have posted about essential oils, which Lexi Pole, she's already a distributor. But you kind of get the idea. So you can do all different kinds of combinations. You can do, you know, you can search for people who are watching certain things. So like watching, if the Olympics were still on, watching the Olympics, or watching, you know, a certain TV show. Or you can do the one that he did that was like amazing to me was engaged women. Hang on just a second. I have to, it's really long, so I have to type it in. Friends of my friends who are engaged women who live nearby and are not my friends. So when you do that, like let's say you're getting ready to do a bridal fair and you're looking for engaged people who live nearby that you could possibly like already start a relationship with. Here's all these people. These are all people who live where I live. I have mutual friends with, but I'm not friends with them. So all of these people are more potentials that I could connect with that are in my area. I could reach out to them and say, hey, you're engaged. Let's set up a bridal wrap party for you. Let's set up a girls' night out, like a wine and wrap party for your bridal party. Let's do a wine and wow party. Let's do, you know, anything like that. So I'm going to go back to this and stop sharing. So does that kind of give you guys some ideas, some things to go off as far as like maybe not your norm way of finding potentials? I find a lot of people that way. Just be careful. Facebook has capped the number of friend requests that you can send out to 15 a day before they will flag you for being a spammer. So make sure that you're not just going down, you're like friend. So make sure that you're being, you know, thoughtful and kind of doing it in increments. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is give me a thumbs up if you have a hundreds list that you work off of. Perfect. Okay, I like to see that. So your hundreds list is something, and I know you guys already know this, that we should be adding to every day. So those people that I just showed you that you can find on Facebook, those are a great way to keep adding to that hundreds list, to keep adding those potentials on there. Another great way is if you go out and blitz, which I know sometimes, especially all of us on here are moms, like it can be hard to get outside of our house. It can be hard to go outside and blitz. You can phone blitz. You can take a picture of a blitz card and text message it to somebody. Or you can do like a voice recording and message it to somebody on your phone. It doesn't have to be outside of your house, okay? So don't get pigeonholed on this idea that like, well, I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything, like I don't encounter people, I can't blitz anybody, I can't like do anything. Because it doesn't even have to be leaving your house. So don't think of it that way. So that's kind of all I have is about finding potentials. Any questions, anything before we move on to the next part? Everybody good? Okay, cool. So as far as messaging these people, so you've got your potentials, you've got your hundreds list, you've got it in front of you. Where do you start? I feel like this is kind of where a lot of people get hung up as far as like really getting the ball rolling with their business is like, I'm not really sure what to do, or I'm not really sure what to say. And then we all have that chicken list, right? We all have that list of people that we have never reached out to because we're just afraid of what they'll say, or we're afraid we'll lose them as a friend or something like that. So The big thing with this is I know that there's a lot of people that they're like, I'm posting, and I'm not getting anything. The difference between posting and messaging is posting is advertising. Posting is like that big billboard on the side of the street, okay? It's great. It gets the word out, but it's not asking anybody to do anything. It's not requiring any sort of like action with it. So when you message somebody, you are directing it directly to them. Like you are asking them, you are saying, I want you, join my team. What do you think? When you directly ask somebody, it makes them feel like they need to respond to you. So that's why messaging is so important. I'm not saying that posting is not. Posting is definitely key. I've gotten a lot of people that, will message me, or even will see something that somebody else posted and they're like, oh, like I saw something about your business the other day, or are you still doing that? Whatever. And so definitely post, but messaging is really a way to make people kind of start the conversation. So the other thing, when you're messaging and when you're posting both, it's really super important that you make it about them. Don't make it about you. And I had a really tough time with that from the start. I would post things where I'm like, I need help, or I need 7 more product testers. I need 3 more people to join my team. When I make it about me, people are like, well, that's great, Haley. Like, have fun with that. All right, I'm on to the next thing. Like, you have to make it enticing for them. Like, we're really self-imposed people if we really think about it. Like, we're all about, how is this going to help me? What is this going to benefit me? Like, why should I waste my time doing this, right? Like, in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of what goes through our head. So you have to make it enticing to them. You can't make it like, I need 7 product testers so that I can earn this bonus and I can make my paycheck bigger and blah, 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 blah. They're like, why should I spend my money to help you earn a bonus? Like, what do I get out of this? So just kind of wording it a little bit differently can sometimes help too. So I'm going to turn this over to Sheila right now, because she is our wordsmith and our master of messages.
No.
Sorry, did I oversell there?
Yeah, you sure did. So no, I post, but like anybody probably at the beginning of this business, I probably, as I said at the last Zoom, I posted a lot, and it wasn't about anybody, and I didn't message. I was like the entire world was on my chicken list. And so then once I really got to messaging, that's whenever I found the people that really hopped on with me. And so I was just going through my phone here, through my Facebook Messenger, because I want to read you some of the things that I say. So for instance, I was talking to a girl that I met randomly on Facebook or Instagram somewhere, and she lives in the UK, right? And so she had never heard of It Works whatsoever. And so this could have been a moment where I could have completely word vomited all over her with all this information that I have. We started in this year and we've been da-da-da, and here's all of our products, and here's the price for you, and here's how you blah, blah, blah. Like, I could have spilled off the entire compensation plan to her, all of the policies, but I don't want to do that because I want to keep it short, and I only want to answer the questions that she asks. And I always want to end with a question. So here's what I said. I had said, something, have you ever heard of It Works? That's how I ended the very first one that I said. And she said, no, I've never heard of it. And I was like, awesome. It Works Global is the health and wellness business that I've been doing for over 4 years. And then because I knew she's in the UK, I said it started in the United States, but it recently expanded all over Europe and Australia. This means we are looking for people to help spread the word and share with people about the business and the products. That's what we do. That's all we do, guys. We get paid to share about the business. We get paid to share about the products. I said, basically, we help people get healthy and debt-free. And I said, we have all natural and plant-based products. Does that sound like something you would be interested in? That's my entire message. That's how I summed up all my knowledge from 4 years into one little paragraph. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? Because I want to know right off the bat if I'm wasting my time. If she says no to just that, then I'm like, check you later. I'm going to go find some people who are, right? And she said, yes, I'm very interested in this. And then, I continued the conversation. Yes, I continued the conversation, and told her just a little bit more and a little bit more. And I always ended with a question, how soon are you wanting to get started? Something like that. Don't press buttons. And so then that was that one. Oh, this is lovely. I need you to sit here, but not talk. Okay? I love you to pieces. So that was one. Then I have a loyal customer that's been ordering every single month like clockwork for probably, 8-9 months. I have never met her in person. Again, somehow through searching, we found each other on Facebook, and she's been my loyal customer. And so I always check in with her every single month, because if you really love on your loyal customers and you follow up with them and you see how they like their products and you talk to them about their life, they are going to love you back, right? So where is she? So I knew that she was starting a new job here, because last time I had talked to her, she said that, I'm starting a new job, da-da-da. So last week I simply messaged her and I was like, how's everything going at the new job? Hope you're having a great week. And she messaged that she was working 12 to 14 hours a day. And she was like, it's so sweet how you look after your customers. And so, I just said, oh, my pleasure, kind of ended it there. But I knew I wasn't done there. Like, I could have put another plug in for the business right there, but I didn't want to. And so then I waited some time. So then today I messaged her and I said, so ... I can't stop thinking about you since you mentioned working 12 to 14 hours a day. Have you given it more thought? Because of course I've already asked her. Have you given it more thought to partnering with me? And have you given It Works and partnering with me any more thought? I had to ask. Otherwise, it would eat me alive is what I said, because it would. And it's way better than working 14 hours a day, because it is. And so like nobody should be working that. So I put in her life. I tell her that I've been thinking about her, and I made it about them. And this is probably the most important thing. I'm going to read you one more before I just sit here and talk. Here it is. So here's a girl that used to work at Amaya's daycare that saw a post about cleanse, right? So she was like, I need detox. Do you have that cleanse? So I answered her questions about the cleanse, and then she was like, okay, yeah, I totally need that. And then she was like, where do I buy it? Through you, or how do I go about it? So I could have had a loyal customer seal the deal right then. Yeah, here's my website. Here's the steps to becoming a customer. Boom, boom, boom. But this is what you need to ask every single person. I said, you are going to love it. Are you thinking about just using the products, or using the products and making money? You give them the option. You give every single person the option. Awesome. You're going to love the cleanse. Okay, do you want it just as using products, or do you want to use the products and make money? Because this was her response right here. What do you mean by making money? Question mark, exclamation mark. Well, let me tell you. She said, definitely want to use it. Just didn't know there was a making money part of it. LOL. I'm all for anything I can get. I'm a broke college student. Boom. Now she's my PDT. So now I'm following up with her about a good time for her to get started in the business, right? Because I asked her. I could have signed her up and had a loyal customer 20 days ago, but now I have a really strong potential distributor that I think would be amazing. And so all because I asked. So if you have a person that's asking you about the products, or you see them post about wanting to get healthy or New Year's resolutions time on Facebook, that's when I immediately take my chance. And I send them a message and I'm like, hey, Haley, I just saw that you, were like looking to get healthy, or that you lost 10 pounds. That's awesome. Like, how did you do it? I've lost 7 taking my supplements, but I'm always looking for other ways. Plug, but then ask them. Or I like to message people if it's somebody that I have never talked to about the business before, ever. I'll go to their page and, for a while, for like a couple weeks, I'll follow them. I'll see what they're doing, see what their family's doing. And then I'll message them. I'll be like, Haley, oh my gosh, I just saw that you went to Disney World. Like, that's amazing. I've always wanted to go there. Where did you stay? Something like that, right? So I'm going to ask them about themselves. And then somewhere down the road, I'm going to say something like, what are you doing? Where are you working? Because I'm going to ask them a question that I want them to ask me. Because most of the time, when you ask somebody else, what do you do, Haley? She's going to be like, oh, I work from home and I absolutely love it. What do you do? I'll be like, oh, I work from home and I absolutely love it. Like you're doing so good. They are, I ask a question that I want them to ask me. And so always ask those, do you want to simply use the products or use the products and make money? I really like to say at the end of mine, does this sound like something you'd be interested in? The PDT that I talked to about, ironically, Cleanse again yesterday, but a different one. I mean, PLC. I'd given her information and I asked her, does this sound like something you'd be interested in? She said, yes, I just need to check with my husband and the budget. Great. Can I get back with you next Wednesday? Yeah, that'd be fabulous. Awesome. I will talk to you then. Enjoy your weekend. So I already have a time that I'm going to follow up with them. Mm-hmm. So does that help? Did I miss anything, Haley?
No, I was just going to say, the other thing I see people do sometimes is when they message people, they give people excuses. Like, they're like, I know you're super busy and you probably don't have the money, but I just wanted to reach out to you and see if you wanted to do this. Like, you've already just given them 2 excuses right there. You've given them the excuse that they're busy, and you've given them the excuse that they don't have the money. Like, don't preempt it with why they might say no. Be confident and just go into it being with the attitude of like, people are crazy if they don't want to do this. Like, who doesn't want to make money from home? I know I like making money from my pajamas rather than getting up and putting on work clothes. Like, solid win for me. Like, that's awesome. I mean, isn't that what we all kind of want, is to not have to quote unquote work? So, I mean,
the only other thing that I do, if somebody's been ignoring me a lot, is video messaging, which I absolutely love that you can do it on Facebook now. And so like last Friday, for all my really big PDTs, I made a video for each one of them. And so that I could start it out with their name so that they know that it didn't go to anybody else. So I was like, hey, Haley, I know that you've been thinking about this business, and I would really love to partner with you, and I want to help you. And I know that we had the conversation about when do you want to get started, and I would love to answer your questions, that sort of thing. And then, ask them what questions they have. And so that, schedule a time to answer those so that you can get everything out in the open, and so that they can make a decision one way or the other, sort of thing. But video messages, because a lot of people who had been ignoring me for a long time responded to the video messages. Even if it was not the oh my God, I'm so ready, here's my $99 that, I would have loved, it was still a response. So I'm like, okay, I'm not, completely falling off the cliff to you, which is great.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Okay, so we kind of talked about it a little bit, but follow-ups follow up, follow up, follow up is so, so important. And this is one thing that I missed big time when I first started. I would follow up once or twice, and if somebody shut me down twice, I was done. Like, I was writing them off. I was like, well, they're done. Like, they're never going to join me. On to the next person. And, you know, we've learned now that it sometimes takes up to 9 times of somebody being asked something, of somebody being messaged, of somebody seeing something like an ad on TV for it to actually like internalize and them to focus on it. So if somebody says no, what they're really saying is not right now. It doesn't work with my life right now. It doesn't work with what I want right now. It doesn't work with my goals right now. But you know what? Life is constantly changing and people's goals are constantly changing. So you never know. 6 months down the road, a year down the road, it may be something that they are looking for. Maybe their job has changed. Maybe their boss has changed. Maybe it's just not, you know, they're getting divorced. They had a baby. You never know what's happening. So keep asking and keep doing that. The other thing I wanted to say is when we follow up, this should not be your like spiel again. Like, don't just regurgitate what you said before. Make it super short, super quick, to the point, you know, just like, hey, Sheila, I know you were interested in the hair, skin, and nails. Are you ready to get signed up today? 2 sentences, like 2 to 3 sentences tops. You don't want to make a big long thing about it. Always end with a question, like what Sheila was saying first. That way it leaves it like you expect a response, and then just go on about your list or whatever you're following up with. The other thing I want to say is if you have messaged somebody like 5, 6, 7 times and they're not responding to you, or they keep giving you the same excuse over and over and over again. The one that comes to mind is I have a girl that I've been following up with for probably 2 years. And every post I see on Facebook is about how she doesn't have money and she needs another job and she doesn't want to give up time with her kids and blah, blah, blah. Like all things that It Works could help with, right? So I've told her this multiple times. And every time it's, oh, well, I don't have money. Oh, well, I don't have money. Oh, well, I can't do that. I don't have money. Paydays did it, you know, whatever. And it's like constantly she spent money on something else is her excuse to me. And so finally, I just made it a point of like, I might follow up with her like every other month, or I might follow up with her if we have like a special promotion, but I'm not going to waste my time with her following up on a continuous basis, because it's obvious that if she wanted to do this, she would make it a priority. And, you know, so it's hard when those people that you know this business could help, or those people that you know would be amazing at this, it's hard, but you can't beat a dead horse. Like it will suck up your energy and it will make you feel so defeated. So just keep on going, put them on your next time list and just move past. So kind of springboarding off of what Sheila says, after you said that first initial message, after you have introduced the business, after you've kind of, you know, gotten the ball rolling, I like to follow up with people 3 days after I send that message if I haven't heard anything. Obviously, if you have heard something or if they have questions, you'll want to follow up right when they send that message back, or as soon as after as you can. But I don't like to let it just sit there, because a lot of people either look at it while they're at work. They're like, oh, yeah, I need to message her later. And then they get busy, or they get home and there's kids and there's dinner and homework and everything. And so they forget. And so a lot of times that 3-day message window, when you message them after that 72 hours, they'll message you back and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you messaged me. I completely forgot. Yeah, I do want to try that. Or can you give me more info or whatever? So I think 3 days is a really good time period to kind of let it sit, let them think about it. You know, maybe they forgot about it. So I usually do my first follow-up 3 days after we've talked for the first time about the products or the business. So then I send that first follow-up message. Then if I don't hear anything, then I let it go for another couple days and I send them another message. And I make it different each time. I don't just keep sending them the same thing over and over again. I'm not like, hey, Sheila, do you still want hair, skin, and nails? Hey, Sheila, are you still interested in hair, skin, and nails? Hey, Sheila, like, she's going to block me, or she's going to like delete me as a friend, or like mute the conversation or something. Like, she's going to get so sick and tired of hearing about hair, skin, and nails over and over and over again. So change it up a little bit. Like, sometimes that second follow-up, I may not even send a message. I might send like a GIF or something like that. You know, you can do like the Giphy. One of my favorite ones to send is the guy from Whose Line Is It Anyway, where he's pointing at the camera and it says like, "Who's awesome?" And he points at the camera. And so I don't know why people like that one. And I get a lot of like LOLs, or like starts a conversation that way. So, you know, mix it up. It doesn't have to be a message each time that's like, "Hey, Rachel, do you still want the wraps? Are you still interested in the wraps? Do you want the wraps?" Like, people don't respond well to that. So kind of mix it up a little bit. So like I said, follow up 1, 3 days, follow up 2, probably another 3 days, follow up 3, and maybe wait another week. And then follow up 4, I always follow up with anyone who's shown any interest throughout the month on the 28th. And the reason I do that is because it's end of month. You're trying to get in those last minute volumes, those last minute boxes filled. So anybody that has been on my PDT or my PLC list, especially the people that I penciled in on my steps to success, those are the people I'm following up with on the 28th, just to kind of get that last minute follow up in. And like I said, short and sweet, 2 to 3 sentences tops. Who is it? Jade Hooper? Is that her name, Jade Hooper? Okay, thank you. I'm like, I don't know why that didn't sound right when I said it. She has a great video on following up with LCs. She has like a flow chart in the video where it's like, if they say no, go here. If they say yes, do this. Like, it's really good, and it's really just very laid out concretely. The other thing I would encourage you to do is when you do follow-ups and you do talk to somebody and they don't end up signing yet that day, for whatever reason, whether it's they still want to think about it, they want to talk to their husband, they want to look into it more, you know, whatever reason, set a specific time that you will follow up with them next, so they know to expect that you will be contacting them again. Don't leave it open-ended, because then that conversation will likely never happen again. So like, "Rachel, I am so excited that you want to talk to your husband about this. How about I contact you on Friday and we go from there, and we talk about what he said. Does that sound great?" Like, give them a time that you will be contacting them, because otherwise, if you leave it open-ended, then people get busy, you get busy, and it never happens. But when you set that specific time, you can write it in your planner, you can set a alert in your phone, you know, whatever, like follow up with Rachel. When that pops up, I can send her a message, boom, we're done, 5 minutes. So that's what I do for follow-ups. I don't know, Sheila, do you have anything to add to follow-ups? Okay, perfect. Lastly is seal the deal. So this is the part that I think was the hardest for me, probably for my first 2 years in this business, if we're really honest. I would get people that were on the fence. I would get people that were interested. I would have people that weren't turning me down, but I couldn't get them to say yes. They just liked to park their butts on the fence and like sit there and just wait it out. They're like, "I don't know, blah, 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 you know, whatever." And I'm not that type of person. I don't know if you guys know my story. I jumped into this business having never tried a wrap. I didn't know what It Works sold. I was like, sweet, I can make money from home. Awesome. Where do I sign? Like, I had no idea what this business was about. Like, we could have been selling like illegal, like, drug trade or something, and I would have signed up for it having no clue what we did. I am definitely like, and I know Sheila is too, like a leap first and ask questions later kind of a person. So people that hem and haw and like sit on the fence and do this, they drive me nuts. They drive me absolutely bonkers, because I just don't relate to that. So that was something I really had to just, you know, figure out what to do with these people. So one thing that has really worked well for me, and I think Sheila uses this too, is Lori Conway's 1 to 10 scale. And so she always asks people at the end of a conversation, she's like, "Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being like, crazy lady, lose my number, and 10 being, I'm ready to sign up, give me your info, where would you say you are as far as joining me or partnering with me or whatever you want to say? And they usually say somewhere, I don't know why, but most people I talk to usually say like a 7. They're like, oh, maybe like a 7. And it's like, awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you're a 7. Like, that's great. What information or what questions can I answer for you to get you to an 8? And so then you let them open up. You let them ask you questions. You let them tell you their fears or their reservations or whatever. And so then we go from there. And, we just keep on with the process. And if this is a person that, let's say needs to ask their husband or needs to do something, and we're going to do a follow-up, I ask the same exact question as the next time. And my goal is to keep moving them up that scale until they're out of 10. So I'm just trying to move them up slowly and surely. Good night. I love you. Okay, sorry. With the 1 to 10 scale. The other thing that Lori talked about at our last Kansas City meeting was something that she calls info now, sign later. And so this is where if somebody says, I'm interested, I want to sign, but I don't get paid until Friday. You take down all their info, you write it on like an LC form or a DT form, you write it all down, you get everything needed, and then you say, that is great. Thank you so much, Stacy. You know what? I'm going to take down your info right now, and then when you get paid on Friday, it will go into the system on Friday. We're going to do a pre-processing today, or a pre-order today, is what she calls it. And that way, they're basically committing, but then you can keep it until they do get paid and put it in on that day. So I thought that was pretty brilliant that, you could do that. You might get some people. I had an LC that I've been trying to sign up for like a couple weeks now that I messaged, and I was like, well, why don't you just send me like your info? And she's like, okay, great. Like, what do you need? And I was like, name, address, birthday, credit card number. And she was like, oh, I can't send you my credit card number. Like, she refused to send me her credit card number. And I was like, okay, then why don't you call me and give me your credit card number? And she was like, well, I don't know. I don't know that I feel comfortable with that. And I was like, I promise you, like, I'm not going to go on a shopping spree with your credit card. Like, I just want to put it in the system for an LC. You're fine. So you may run into that, but I think more likely than not, people will be totally fine with that. So, but yeah, like we already talked about, if you get a hold of somebody that isn't ready to sign, then set up that next meeting with them. Say, hey, you know what? Do you want to grab coffee like on Friday? I would love to sit down and chat about this with you. Or, do you want to do dinner? Can we talk on the phone? Can we do a Zoom? Can we do, whatever? Like, just getting face-to-face. And if you can't get face-to-face, like talking on the phone, I think is so important because people can hear that passion and they can feel how excited and how much you believe in the business. So, Sheila, anything on Seal the Deal? Okay.
Nope. I mean, those are the ones that I use. That 1 to 10 is perfect.
Yeah.
The one I want to know, like, okay, if you're a 4 and then you're like, well, I don't know what questions I have. I kind of know I'm wasting my time a little bit. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to move on to the next one.
Anything below like a 5 is, I mean, I don't just like write them off, but that's probably somebody that I'm not going to spend a whole ton of time like trying to talk them into it. Like, those are probably people that I'm like, you know what, if you aren't sold on the business, maybe it'd be better to sign up as a customer first so that you can try out the products. So I might try to go the loyal customer route with somebody like that rather than the distributor route. Because honestly, loyal customers, they pay us every single time. Distributors might pay us. We don't get paid anything to sign up a distributor, but if they produce and they sign customers themselves, then great, like they will pay you. But if you sign up somebody that probably should have been a loyal customer in the first place and they don't do anything, it's just a dead box. So that's kind of how I look at it too, as far as the LC versus DT. DTs are great for promoting, but they have to actually do something. So, any questions? You guys and your babies are making me like, seriously, baby crazy. My ovaries are screaming right now.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Babysit.
Yeah, right.
He's even a little snuggles. So cute.
Mm.
Mine.
I
Yeah.
can't believe how big he's gotten.
Yeah. Oh, look at that lip.
Stacy had just had him at her launch party. How old was he at your launch party?
Yeah.
Just a couple weeks old, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was itty bitty. Little baby.
Yeah.
Little baby.
Weeks because I signed the 28th and he was born on the 8th. So he was like a month.
Holy cow.
Crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Wow.
So do you guys have any other questions than what we talked about that since it's just the four of us, we might as well.
Yeah. Did that help? Did that help?